Shalom, willkommen. I am Rabbi Noam Marans, American Jewish Committee, AJC's Director of Interreligious and Intergroup Relations. I am truly filled with joy to be here from New York with all of you as we present the AJC Isaiah Award for Exemplary Interreligious Leadership to Oberammergau Passion Play Director Christian Stückl. I am pleased to welcome Christian's family, particularly his parents, Peter and Roswitha Stückl. Peter is playing Annas in the 2022 play, but Roswitha told me that she's on the stage every night, and Peter only half the nights. As well as the leadership of the Oberammergau village, Mayor Andreas Rudel, and the village council, and many other dignitaries who are here, including Regional Bishop Christian Kopp, and the Commissioner for Jewish Life and the Fight Against Antisemitism in Bavaria, Dr. Ludwig Spenle. And a special thank you to Oberammergau leadership for co-hosting this event with AJC, and to all my dear friends who made it happen under the leadership of Frederick Mayet, also known as Jesus, and Franziska Sieher and their team. Our journey to this place in time has been a very long one, not just physically, but spiritually as well. AJC leadership, my legendary predecessors, have been focused on the Oberammergau Passion Play for more than half a century. In 1980, Rabbi Mark Tannenbaum, AJC's Director of Interreligious Affairs, labeled Oberammergau the international capital of religious antisemitism. His successor, Rabbi Jim Rudin, condemned the 350th anniversary edition in 1984 as unmistakably anti-Semitic. And today, 4 decennial plays later, and following an effective period of constructive engagement coinciding with Christian's directorship, we are honoring Christian and the transformation he has fashioned. Christian has received and will receive many awards in his lifetime. But given the history of the AJC Oberammergau relationship, I know that this award has unique meaning for him. This is also quite personal for me. Like many American Jews of my generation who grew up in the shadow of the Holocaust, the Shoah, I was raised with suspicion of all things German in the wake of the genocide which murdered half of European Jewry, 1/3 of world Jewry. I grew up in a home where we avoided purchasing German products. This German product from my childhood home left an indelible impact upon me. My father, also a rabbi, was an avid photographer, and we developed film and photographs in our basement darkroom. And he stored the film in more than 100 of these German AGFA envelopes. Nonetheless, my father felt compelled to blot out the word Germany on every one of those 100 folders where it says made in Germany. Each one, he took a magic marker and blotted out Germany. This is something you never forget as a child. I therefore had never visited Germany as a younger person. And in fact, my first visit to Germany was only in 2009, when I was already 50 years old. And the first place I ever stayed in Germany overnight, you're not going to believe this, was right here in Oberammergau. Since then, I have been back to Germany more than 10 times in these past 13 years because Germany has been central to AJC's work, to my work, German Jewish, German American, German Israel, and Christian Jewish relations. In the post-World War II, 75 years, particularly in recent decades at AJC, under the leadership of AJC CEO David Harris. It is therefore particularly important to note that we at AJC have come here today together with 14 young American Jews. AJC's Summer 2022 Goldman Fellows and staff who are participating in a Germany close-up travel seminar. We want them to remember the past, but also to build for a better future. This is my 7th visit to Oberammergau. I met with Christian Stückl on at least 5 other occasions in Munich, Berlin, Rome, and New York. In New York, twice with Frederick Jesus at his side. And Christian and Jesus stayed over at my home in Teaneck, New Jersey, and had a full-day inaugural meeting with the AJC Oberammergau Academic Advisory Group in April 2019. Yes, Christian and Jesus slept at the home of 2 21st century rabbis, my wife and me. My wife is also a rabbi in New Jersey. Speaking of AJC and Germany, it is my honor to ask my colleague, Dr. Remco Limhus, director of AJC Berlin, to share his greetings. Remco.
Thank you, Noam. Hello, everybody. There are few assignments that I can think of that are more thankless than speaking after a rabbi, especially when it is my great colleague Noam, who knows the history of the Passion Play like few other people, and it makes it all the more difficult given his personal remarks and his relationship with Germany. As Noam has indicated, Germany has always had a very special meaning for AJC for obvious historical reasons. But there's more to this relationship. Not only was AJC founded in 1906 by German Jews who had immigrated to the United States, but AJC was also the first Jewish organization from the US that reached out to then West Germany in 1945. Our AJC predecessors knew then that West Germany was too big to ignore, and that if one is serious about preventing another Shoah, we had to engage especially the young Germans. In the late 1950s, we brought German teachers to the US helped them understand how democratic education works. We were also the first Jewish organization to welcome the German reunification, which at the time was not only controversial among Jewish organizations, but even among nations. Think about France and Great Britain, for example. And in 1998, we were also the first American Jewish organization to open a permanent office in Germany, in Berlin, and next year we will celebrate our 25th anniversary, COVID permitting. I don't name these events for reason of self-promotion. Maybe a little bit, we're still an American organization, but above all, to make clear that this celebration today and the honoring of Christians' work needs to be understood in a larger context of AJC's work here in Germany. I will leave it to Noam to elaborate on Christians' merits, but even as an amateur that I am when it comes to the Passion play, I can still appreciate how special and transformative his work over the past 3 decades has been, especially against the backdrop of rising antisemitism in Germany and around the world that we've seen over the past years. His work is special because without people like Christian, or who are dedicated as Christian, we will make no progress in the fight against the oldest hatred. Obviously, the democratic parties in Germany are united in their fight against Jew hatred. And as important as it is, it needs people like Christian and the people of Oberammergau for it to really succeed. And we could witness over the past weeks how important this fight is, especially in the wider art and cultural scene when we think about the ongoing scandal at the Documenta Art Fair. Therefore, the commitment of Christian and the people of Oberammergau cannot be overestimated. More than 30 years ago, instead of reflexively fending off criticism, Christian listened to our concerns, stayed in dialogue with us, and changed things that had remained almost unchanged for hundreds of years. And I repeat, for hundreds of years. This not only requires courage and will, but above all, the willingness to learn and to make the necessary changes, no matter how fundamental and extensive they may be. There is an English expression that comes to mind when I think of Christian's transformative work here in Oberammergau. The saying goes, there are those who talk the talk, and there are those who walk the walk. Christian, without a doubt, you belong to those who walked the walk. The American Jewish Committee will never forget what Christian and the citizens of Oberammergau have done, and for that we owe you our deepest gratitude. Again, congratulations to you, Christian, and thank you for your friendship to AJC. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear colleague Remco. So we have a special surprise for Christian and all of you. Video messages of tribute from leaders who have been part of the Oberammergau project. Fellow AJC Isaiah Award honoree Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Archbishop of New York, who saw the play together with AJC with me in 2010, and 2 members of the AJC Oberammergau Academic Advisory Group, Adele Reinhartz, PhD FRSC, Distinguished University Professor, University of Ottawa, Canada, and the Reverend Peter A. Pettit, PhD, Teaching Pastor at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Davenport, Iowa, in the USA. We're ready for the video.
Christian Stückl. It's Cardinal Timothy Dolan here. I'm the Archbishop of New York, and was I ever happy when my friend Rabbi Noam Marans told me that you were being honored by the Jewish community in the United States. Congratulations. And you talk about somebody that enthusiastically supported that decision by my Jewish brothers and sisters to honor you, because you have done a lot through the legendary Passion play in Oberammergau to further that friendship. Your sensitivity to the expressions of concern and reservation from our Jewish neighbors, your ability to work hard to see that the Oberammergau Passion play, yes, was ever faithful to the gospel message, but expressed in very sensitive, inclusive ways that do not caricature anybody. You've done that well. And the admiration that I just have for the village of Oberammergau and for your leadership has just been enhanced as I've seen what you've done, and as I myself have had the honor and joy of viewing the Passion play 2 times. So God bless you, Christian. Congratulations.
Lieber Christian, es ist mir eine große Ehre, an dem Tag zu dir zu sprechen. Ich wünschte nur, ich könnte in Oberammergau sein, dir persönlich zu begrüßen. It is a great honor to address you on the day that the American Jewish Committee is presenting you with the Isaiah Award for Exemplary Interreligious Leadership. I only wish that I could be in Oberammergau to greet you in person. We first met in Oberammergau in 2010, when my husband and I had the opportunity to attend a preview of the play as well as the premiere. At the time, I was working on a book about the high priest Caiaphas, which included a chapter on how the high priest had been portrayed throughout the history of the Oberammergau Passion play. In the course of my research, I learned about you, and I also studied the playbooks from 1990 and 2000 performances. So it was quite a thrill to finally meet you and to speak with you at the bar after the preview. I was very moved at your interest in my impressions of the play, and I was able to convey my appreciation of the powerful scene in which the cast chanted the Shema in Hebrew, and also my dismay at the scene in which several hundred villagers shouted, "Crucify him, crucify him." 2 days later, at the premiere, I noticed subtle changes in this latter scene, and from this I learned how serious you are about removing the vestiges of antisemitism from the Passion play. On that same occasion, I met Noam Marans and agreed to be part of a small advisory group to provide feedback on the portrayal of the Jews in the 2020 play. In the period leading up to that event, you and I met in person again at the Conference on the Pharisees organized by the Pontifical Biblical Institute in Rome. Your talk and your essay in the conference volume brought to life the history of the play and your own lifelong involvement with it from childhood to the present day. You are open and honest about the many obstacles you faced in the process of improving the play's presentation of Jews and Judaism. I, along with everyone who heard your talk, admired your patience and creativity in moving steadily towards these goals. I thought it was a brilliant idea to visit Israel with the main cast, a visit that provided them with a much deeper understanding of Jesus as a Jew who was part of the Jewish people and not against the Jewish people. The postponement of the 2020 play was an unavoidable disappointment, but it made my joy at attending the premiere this past May even greater. As I wrote to you after the performance, I was very moved. I was so happy to see that the Crucify Him scene that had so disturbed me in 2010 had been replaced by a realistic mob scene. No longer are the Jews shown as arrayed against Jesus, and no longer is Caiaphas the main villain. The responsibility for Jesus' crucifixion now rests as it should, with the Roman governor Pilate, who had Caiaphas in his power. I recount these details because they demonstrate your ability to listen to your Jewish friends, and they demonstrate your ongoing commitment to presenting a passion play that highlights the impact of Jesus without portraying his fellow Jews in a negative light. Many people deplore the history of Christian antisemitism and describe themselves as friends to the worldwide Jewish community. Such words are easy to say, but they do not accomplish very much. Your steady efforts have already borne fruit and will continue to do so long after the last performance in October. Christian, it has been a tremendous privilege to engage with you on these matters. I look forward to more conversations as you begin to prepare for 2030. In der Zwischenzeit gratuliere ich dir herzlich zur Verleihung des Isaiah-Preises und wünsche dir alles Gute für den Rest der Passionspielsaison. Danke.
Christian, what a remarkable privilege it is to have this opportunity to celebrate with you, to celebrate you, and to offer a few words of reflection about the way in which your work has contributed so very much to the field and the world of Jewish-Christian relations, interfaith relations, and I would suggest to the world more generally. It's a privilege to be involved in this at all. It was Rabbi Noam Marans who brought us together and through the Academic Advisory Committee has involved me in this work, but it is you, Christian, who extended the privilege of participation and partnership. But I've learned in our work together that that is characteristic of your leadership, to privilege others, to recognize them, to respect them, and ultimately, yes, I would suggest to recruit them into your project, indeed into Oberammergau's project. That project, after all, at its heart, as we all know, is the fulfilling of a vow, now nearly 400 years in its continuation. And that vow is one that at its origins recognized and respected God as the one trustworthy source of life and of blessing for all people. Christian, your key insight is that to honor that vow is to emulate the God with whom that vow has been made. Indeed, if one does not emulate God, then one is not honoring the vow. And so in this framework, whatever there might be that works against life and blessing for all people simply has no place in Oberammergau's project. That is the key insight that I've come to understand motivates and drives all of your creativity in this regard. And your humility is to recognize that such a vision of God, such a vision of fulfilling the project requires the strength of diversity, diverse perspectives, diverse experiences, diverse skills, not only in the play, in the product, but equally so in the process. And so you have gathered around you such a remarkable team of partners and collaborators. I think especially right off the bat of Stefan and Marcus and the ways in which their own visions and perspectives have contributed to this remarkable project. You have drawn in people as collaborators, as participants, and as partners in the process. And you know, when the experience of creating a work of art embodies the very essence of that artwork, the meaning is multiplied exponentially. Christian, you have embodied a process of respect, of inclusion, and of privileging others that is a model not only of interfaith engagement at its best, but I would suggest it is a model for all human relations. For that, Christian, there's no question. that an award for excellence and leadership and outstanding accomplishment in interfaith relations worthily comes to you on this occasion. It's a privilege to be able to share in celebrating that. Congratulations.
And now for the presentation of the award. Throughout his illustrious career as Oberammergau Passion play director, Christian Stückl has demonstrated the power of one individual to make a tremendous difference. He took a play that was sadly infamous for its hundreds of years of anti-Semitic tropes and visuals and transformed it, creating an educational tool for post-Shoah Christian and German self-reflection, leading to progress and reconciliation in Christian-Jewish and German-Jewish relations. Together with the remarkable team he has assembled since 1986, Christian has shepherded the Oberammergau community into a new era for the play, an era that acknowledges its problematic past and labors continuously for a very good present and an even better future. Christian, an Oberammergau native who became the legendary decennial plays director in advance of the 1990 play, has been unrelenting in his commitment to eliminating anti-Jewish tropes and visuals in the production. Christian famously declared in advance of the 2022 edition of the play, quote, "Let there be no doubt. In Oberammergau, in the play, anti-Semitism has no place, and it has no place in the lives of the performers either." Directing the play for the fourth time, Christian has transformed the production, most notably by highlighting the Jewishness of Jesus and his followers, and clarifying that only the Roman Pontius Pilate and not the Jews could condemn Jesus to death. He inaugurated the principal actors' pilgrimage to Israel as part of their play preparation and added a critical and now very much beloved play scene with hundreds singing Shema Yisrael, the central Jewish prayer, as Jesus raises a Torah facsimile. To paraphrase a rabbinic aphorism, for Stückl, the work will never be done, but he does not feel free to desist from it. The AJC Isaiah Award artwork to be presented to Christian is a facsimile leaf of Shema Yisrael in the Kennecott Bible, the lavishly illuminated Hebrew Bible that survived from medieval Spain before the expulsion of the Jews in 1492, combining Jewish, Christian, and Islamic artistic motifs. The Kennecott Bible captures the spirit of interreligious relations which Christian exemplifies. Christian's signature and most memorable addition to the play is a newly composed rendition of Shema, sung by hundreds of Oberammergau villagers portraying first-century Jews. There couldn't be a more fitting artistic text with which to honor our dear Christian. Christian, could you please join me here? award is inscribed as follows: Shema Yisrael, Kennecott Bible, American Jewish Committee, AJC Isaiah Award for Exemplary Interreligious Leadership to Christian Stückl, Director, Oberammergau Passion Play, August 10th, 2022. Mazel Tov, Christian.
Noam, sprachlos. Ich bin jetzt wirklich im ersten Moment ein bisschen ohne Worte. Als ich ganz ein kleiner Junge war, mit 7 Jahre alt, da saß ich schon ganz oft bei uns am Stammtisch im Restaurant und habe immer wieder einen Namen gehört, Rabbi Mark Tannenbaum. Und diesen Namen habe ich so oft gehört, und aber immer negativ behaftet. Also die Leute am Stammtisch haben immer gesagt, dieser Rabbi Mark Tannenbaum will unser Passionsspiel zerstören, der will das kaputt machen. Und ein zweiter war noch dabei, unser damaliger Erzbischof von München und Freising, Kardinal Döpfner. Und die zwei waren die großen Killer des Passionsspiels. So habe ich es gelernt mit 7 Jahren. Kardinal Döpfner hat uns kurz vorher die Missio Canonica entzogen und hat gesagt, ihr wollt nicht umgehen, ihr wollt nicht lernen, ihr wollt nicht mit Nostra Aetate umgehen, also ihr stellt euch stur, ihr müsst euch verändern. Und ich habe immer gelernt, wir spielen doch nur die Bibel, da ist doch nichts Falsches dran. Und habe also wirklich ganz oft gehört, dass diese zwei Herren nur das Schlechteste für Oberammergau wollen. Ich habe immer wieder versucht, wie ich dann größer geworden bin mit meinem Großvater, hauptsächlich gar nicht so unbedingt mit meinem Vater, sondern eher mit meinem Großvater, zu fragen, was bedeutet eigentlich Antisemitismus im Passionsspiel? Was ist es? Und mein Opa hat immer gesagt, da ist nichts. Wir spielen die Bibel. Also ich war auf dem völlig falschen Weg in der Zeit. Dass ich heute den Preis bekomme, ist keine Selbstverständlichkeit. Ich freue mich über diesen Preis. Ich habe jetzt in der letzten Zeit schon mehrere Preise gekriegt, die Abraham-Geiger-Medaille, den Buber-Rosenzweig-Preis, aber ich freue mich über diese Medaille ganz besonders, weil ich das Gefühl habe, AJC und ich, wir kennen uns, seit ich irgendwie auf der Welt bin, seit dem kleinen Jungen am Stammtisch, der ein falsches Bild von Rabbi Mark Tannenbaum hatte, der dann später Rabbi Rudin kennengelernt hat und dann später dich kennengelernt hat. Eigentlich begleiten wir uns schon, diese Organisation und ich und Oberammergau, uns, seit ich denken kann, seit ich auf der Welt bin. At Jesus, we have sometimes a sentence, before I be born, I heard your name. So, it's since a long time we are together. Ja, im Anfang war das gar nicht leicht. Man muss, glaube ich, wir haben alle mit diesem Thema einen ganz schweren Umgang. Ich habe immer gemerkt, wie mein Großvater einfach nicht antworten wollte, nicht mit dem Thema umgehen wollte, dass auch andere nicht mit dem Thema umgehen wollten. Ich habe immer gedacht, was ist da los? Warum wollen sie sich nicht auseinandersetzen? Und ich glaube, das ist wirklich ein schwieriger Umgang. Und wir waren, glaube ich, die erste Generation, die wieder einigermaßen frei damit umgehen konnten, die ohne eigenes schlechtes Gewissen nach der Shoah wieder handlungsfähig wurde. Aber I have the feeling I speak it now in English. It's bad English, but I tried, or I tried. I have the feeling it's not enough if we say we think about this. I think it's the last 30 years I have really the feeling we have to work for this project in a very strong way. Because if I start to think about anti-Semitic in the terms in the Passion play, in the moment I was shocked. We have this old living tableaus, a long tradition. We show people sing from the Old Testament, and earlier we have a picture, the König Ahasver with Vasti and Esther. We say, yeah, it's a story from King Ahasver. But if I look to the text, I can see the text. So the text says us, God takes away the synagogue and takes the church to his new wife. So I look to my father acts as Judas. Judas was the whole time dressed in yellow. So to make out that this is also the costume is an anti-Semitic term. You have to we have in the room of the high priest of Caiaphas we have the menorah. In the room where the people say Jesus has been killed, this is a very clear sign as the Jew kills him. So and I think in so many terms we have, but we think not about this. We say also this is the Bible. We do the Bible. So and it was a very long way to bring out all these things. For me, it was a very important experience that we go the first time in 1990 to Israel with all the actors. It was a very suddenly we speak in a very different way about Jesus. We go to the places where Jesus is. We get a total different understanding from Jesus. And so we start the first time to Rabbi Rudin in 1990 says, let's Jesus speak in Hebrew. And I say, no, it's not possible. Later on, I think, why is it not possible? And I come to the point, we have to take Hebrew words to give them Jesus. And it's such a long way, but I think it was a very important way for us all. For Marcus, we changed all living tableaus. We make new texts. He composed a new music. We think in so many different ways about. And I learned also from you, and you say you never get a kosher stamp. You never get that. We are never ready with this work. And I feel also now in the Corona situation, we are not on the end to speak about this stupid anti-Semitic terms which we have in our heads. Sometimes I think the most people have the same experience like I with Rabbi Tannenbaum. I have never seen him. I don't know how he looks, but I have a meaning in my head, and this meaning was wrong. And so I think it was a long way, and it's a very important way. And where is he? He asked me what people think about me later on, and I say it's not important what think, but I hope that the young generation who sits here think we have to change our mind, we have to go in a good way, and we have to meet, and we have to speak, and we have to hold our hands, and we have to try to bring out all our bad thinking in our head. Thank you for the award. Thank you.
Once again, thank you all for coming, and enjoy the balance of the evening.